Hello, my co-highs. Hope you're doing well. I am your host, Tyrannos Senpai, once again joined by the beautiful and talented Jurassic Master.
Hello, that's me.
And today we are reacting to. Oh my god, I'm so tired of reactions today, dude. We are reacting to the making of Sea and Sky, from the Dinosauria series. We're quite excited about this. I actually had a look at the Patreon and found the shark's actual name. It's Kratani Reixa or something.
Ah, I did not know that.
I don't know the exact pronunciation, but according to the Patreon post, apparently there's actually no featured species page on it.
That's interesting. You would
So
think
it just came out of nowhere. But yeah, we're both excited about this. Oh,
Yeah.
for the love of God. Thank goodness this is Jurassic World. If you drop another trailer in the middle of the night, I swear I will find you and I will slaughter you. This is the last reaction I'm doing tonight. I swear to God, this is anything based on dinosaurs or trailers, I'm done. Whew. Until the Super Bowl, whatever happens there.
Oh yeah, I'll probably drop another one.
I am ready. I am ready. We're really excited about this. I'm just gonna go ahead and shut up and put on the video. So, everyone get making of Sea and Sky ready, because we're gonna start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, my name is David, and welcome to this behind-the-scenes video
Hello, David.
covering the 4th episode of my Dinosauria series, Sea and Sky.
Interesting
In this
illustration.
video, I will be going over the artwork I created for the
A
film,
zombie pterosaur.
the challenges rigging and animating such strange and prehistoric creatures, on top of the usual rundown of scientific accuracies, inaccuracies, and also my creative process building this big clay sculpture I made for the film as well. So
I wonder what song he's going to sing to this one.
Started.
Because he always has to serenade it, right? Ah. Iconic scene. A bowl?
Well, that's one way to do it.
I guess that made clicky clacky. That's the official term now. It's clicky clacky. It's not anything else.
Even though this film is part of my Dinosauria series, this particular animation does not actually feature any dinosaurs at all. The film features bony fish, cartilaginous fish, Mosasaurs, and Pterosaurs, none of which belong to the Dinosauria clade. Pterosaurs are not dinosaurs, but both families are still often lumped together in films and books and toy boxes, which is quite understandable. Pterosaurs and dinosaurs look very similar. They both appeared at around the same time and lived alongside one another throughout the Mesozoic period, both reaching similar large sizes and parallel success. The two groups
I see T-Rex. I see Allosaurus.
Share pycnofibrous fluffy coatings, endothermic metabolisms, and hollow bones. Pterosaurs are just about as closely related to dinosaurs as it's possible to be without actually being
not quite.
Dinosaurs.
I don't see a Triceratops. But geez, they look good. Hey, I've seen these figures.
Culture depiction you see of dinosaurs in film and TV and video games isn't particularly accurate, but it is far better.
Hey, that's a pterosaur I got.
The archaic persona that pterosaurs still have in most people's minds. Most people, when imagining a dinosaur,
Wilson the T-Rex,
picture a warm-blooded, active animal that is in some way related to birds. But the mainstream interpretation of pterosaurs is often still the flapping, squawking reptilian sky vermin, virtually unchanged since 1933's
God, that zombie pterosaur again.
I decided to create this film, break my rules, and focus on a bunch of non-dinosaurs because I wanted to counter that interpretation. I wrote this film with the goal of portraying these animals as noble, respectable, and competent animals.
He for sure did.
A particularly big influence for the tone of this film was this painting here by paleo artist Mark Whitten called Tyrannogeddon from 2016.
I don't like the tail fan.
Painting
Yeah,
perfectly captured the effective, strong, and confident qualities I wanted to convey in my Pterosaurs, and I'm sure just looking at it, the inspiration that led to Sea and Sky is
so that one shot
obvious.
of them like about to take off, that's from the painting. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Sculpture!
Hey. I love these. I love the sculptures. They're so detailed.
I have been making clay sculptures for each of my Dinosauria films, and for Sea and Sky, I of course decided to create a mature male Geosternbergia.
This fat, fluffy creature is bitten my hand. Oh, that's
I created
nice.
the sculpture in pretty much the exact same way I've created the rest, with Daz air drying clay rolled up into a bunch of sausagey tubes, which were then dried and glued together into sort of a pteranodon-looking stick figure. I then proceeded to bulk out this foundation with more and more clay, eventually leading to the general form of a pterosaur. Once this basic mesh was blocked out, I then got to work on the finer surface details. As far as I know, we have no direct evidence of scaly skin on pterosaurs at all. Instead, these animals seem to all be covered in fur-like or feather-like pycnofibers and possibly areas of skin.
Yeah, he actually called it pycnofibers and not proto-feathers.
Yeah. I heard a lot of people call them
Once the sculpt was finished, I primed the model,
it's only on
it with acrylic paints and brushes,
dinosaurs,
and of course, remember to
pycnofibers
serenade
or
the
is
piece
the pterosaur
for
thing?
each coat to dry.
This song, though. It looks like a bit of candy, actually.
Yeah.
I have been sculpting dinosaurs for as long as I can remember, but I don't think I've ever sculpted a pterosaur before.
That's one droopy tail, though.
Yeah.
Pterosaurs have body plans unlike any animal to ever exist, and having to tangibly form these alien anatomical shapes unlike the rest of the animal kingdom that I'm so familiar with, I think left me with an unexpected respect and appreciation for this weird, unique group of creatures. Overall, I think this sculpture is pretty good. He is a weird colour,
it looks like a piece of candy.
One of these, and he's also a weird shape. But he's also a pterosaur, and pterosaurs are super weird, so that's probably fine.
Dang!
Wow, he really just insulted pterosaurs.
Finally, is the whole family of Dinosauria sculptures so far. Just
he's got to do T-Rex sculpt, right? That's got to be what it is.
If he doesn't, you're missing out.
Uncle Tyler gonna get angry.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, a story.
This film is set 85 million years ago in the Niobrara Formation in what is now
Kansas,
and follows a flock of mostly female Geosternbergia. The pterosaurs are hungry and want to dive into the sea below to feed, but the group is hesitant to enter the water. Dangerous predators lurk in these depths. The larger, dominant male of the group emerges and wastes no time as he dives into the dangerous sea. The onlookers, tenser than ever, watch their alpha descend into the darkness and snatch his prize, but he has not succeeded just yet. Mesozoic sharks hunting in the shallows are curious of the pterosaur, but the real threat comes in the form of something far
it's the Tylosaurus.
larger.
This could be like a screensaver.
Honestly, I would love that.
Spurred on by the male's successful display, the rest of the pterosaur group
of that thing just
one
snatching
by one,
up pterosaur,
diving into the deep.
That would be cool.
Our alpha male returns to his perch and watches his flock from high above as they conquer their fears, take the plunge, and hunt for themselves. A hunt that he inspired.
This is cool.
Oh, yeah.
Geosternbergia would have been adept walkers on the land, swimmers in the sea, and flyers in the air. And these three different ways of getting about have drastically different associated emotional connotations, which gave me an idea for the
it's like a
structure
three-part
of this
act.
film.
Oh.
This film has 3 acts: an opening, slower act which is on the ground, a tension-filled sinking middle act which takes place in the sea, and a triumphant third act where we finally take to the skies.
Cool.
This whole series has been inspired by nature documentary filmmaking, but none more so than Sea and Sky. This film was written to mimic exactly the type of scenario you would see play out in a real-life nature documentary segment. I wanted this film to have this more natural, realistic tone in contrast to, say, A More Ancient Spring.
Oh yeah, we made that comparison last time.
Fantastical tone to really hammer home the idea that these creatures were real. I wanted to portray Geosternbergia as an inspiration, and I felt stripping back as many fantastical elements as I could was the correct way to go about doing that.
Confronting the storm.
Wow.
Sea and Sky, on a shot-for-shot basis, was one of the more time-consuming.
I'm just now noticing the Mosasaur has like a second set of teeth.
The film doesn't have a single simple shot.
Yeah, if you look at the back of them,
I see him. Wow.
like an actual life.
This is an example of a simple shot. It's from old
I don't know why,
it's
but
just
this
a
model
3D
actually looks a little bit
animated
better with
dinosaur on a
shading.
2D static background. That's it. But for Sea and Sky, because this film is set during a thunderstorm, by the coast and in the sea, there are no static backgrounds.
You know what? He's right.
I have avoided depicting
in
these
terms
kinds
of these
environments as
Yeah.
often as I can.
What
Because
the hell?
water is an incredibly hard thing to animate.
This is
However, for this film, I felt it was finally time to face my fear.
Yeah, background and setting takes major plots.
All of these effects, the waves, the splashes, the bubbles,
This had to
lightning and
take
the
a
rain,
long while.
individually are simple effects that I've known how to do for a while. I've just never really had to compile so many all at once.
They made it
Some
work out,
of these effects turned
Yeah,
out
he
a
did.
lot nicer than others. I really like
Yeah,
the
bubbly
bubbly movement effects around my characters as they swim through the sea, and I also love the look of the lightning here.
Yeah,
But I really don't like this slow motion splashing effect made by my Mosasaur as it breaches out of the water.
I guess it could be improved on.
Yeah, but you're working with
I
what you
am
got.
overall quite
Yeah.
happy with the final result here though, and I learned a lot of new tricks working on this film. Just knowing that I can pull off settings like this opens the door to so many more storytelling opportunities in future short films. The first animal featured in the film is the Pterosaur Geosternbergia, formerly Pteranodon sternbergi. These animals hunted on the coast and in the sea on a diet of fish and squid.
Yeah.
Geosternbergia was heavily sexually dimorphic. Males were around twice the size of the females and sported much larger, more elaborate
so they were
crests.
a lot bigger.
Male specimens are also
guess
a
so.
lot less common than female specimens, suggesting a polygamous mating system similar to a lot of modern seals, where large groups consisting of numerous females would be competed over by fewer, larger males for breeding rights over the entire group. This is the system I decided to depict in my film. The Geosternbergia flock depicted consists almost entirely of females led by one dominant mature male. I made sure to create a decent amount of individual variation throughout the group, and if you look very closely, there's even one sneaky juvenile
that
male in there
slipped
as well,
by me.
who's just starting to grow in his reddish-purple colouring.
So
and
that's like a
larger
juvenile
crest.
male.
So there's one juvenile. Interesting.
That was very cheeky.
You got me. Sneak
A
that
lot of
past
the
me.
sound effects used in my Dinosauria series I record myself. That was too much. For this film, my Geosternbergia vocalizations here were created using a royalty-free sound of a bird, which I pitch-shifted and
I
slowed
wish I could
down,
do sound design like this.
Oh, yeah.
mixed with the sound of some clacking beaks, which I recorded myself using a bamboo bowl and a plank of wood.
It's not different stuff.
It did achieve a desired effect.
Yeah. Sounded pretty spot on to me.
Yeah. Clack, 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 clack.
Creating the Pterosaur 3D models and rigs for this film was a massive challenge. Getting these guys to fly and to swim was relatively simple, but folding this model up into a realistic standing position and getting it to walk was almost impossible with the wonky rigs that I originally created.
Oh yeah, rigging. That's always
On
hard.
screen right now is some of the earliest footage of this film that I rendered out, featuring my original Sternbergia rigs. These early models were a nightmare and were full of inaccuracies and rigging issues.
I could see the inaccuracies.
Here, in comparison, is the latest footage of the film after months and months of tiny tweaks to make the rigs more usable and the models more anatomically accurate. These changes including adding webbed feet, fixing the wing posture, and removing the wing membrane between the ankles and the tail.
Interesting. I would have probably never noticed that.
In my sketchbook drawings and my sculpture, the pteroid bone is also very prominent. This backwards-facing wrist bone is unique to pterosaurs, but it's totally obscured into the anatomy of the wing in my finished animation model. This isn't a mistake, it was much easier to animate this way, and having the bone hidden within the flesh of the wing isn't unreasonable. But in retrospect, I think I far prefer the look of the more prominent pteroid, and I kinda wish I implemented it.
I don't know, dude, it looks good either way.
It looks fine to me.
Yeah.
The final animals featured in the film, after a bunch of mistakes, a ton of tweaks, and a ton of fixes, are otherwise accurately portrayed, with the correct social structure, drastic sexual dimorphism, they're feeding in the sea, and they're launching into the air using their powerful arms over their smaller, weaker legs. The way that my male Sternbergia takes off from the sea, using almost exclusively his powerful arms to skim across the surface of the water into eventual flight, is also exactly how we believe these animals would have taken off from the sea.
Look at that, it's so cool.
One substantial inaccuracy remains though, and it's present in all of my drawings, my sculpture, and my 3D models. All of the pterosaurs in this animation walk on the tips of their toes. They are digitigrade.
I know what he did.
Like this. But it turns out we have a lot of direct fossil trackway evidence that confirms that these animals would have walked on their toes.
Their feet would have been
and
flat.
Their heels.
Yeah.
They would have walked
like that.
plantigrade. Like this. I caught this mistake far too late.
Well, no one's perfect.
And fixing it would require reanimating the majority of the film again for the third or fourth time, and I do have my limits.
That's a cute looking shark.
Yeah.
Aiden?
Big chunky.
The second animal featured in the film is the prehistoric shark
Pterosaur, that's the one.
Which does not have a sketchbook page dedicated to it, so I suppose this will have to do. Pterosaur could grow very large, much larger than what I depict in this film. This was intentional, though, as the sharks in the film are supposed to be juveniles and subadults hunting in the shallows. I did this because I wanted them to be more abundant, hesitant to attack the pterosaur, more skittish, and the smaller that they are, the larger my Mosasaur looks in comparison. We actually have direct evidence of Pterosaur hunting pterosaurs. LACM 50926 is a Pteranodon longiceps specimen that famously has a shark's tooth embedded in its neck.
Pterosaur definitely
that tooth
died from
belonging to this exact species.
Thalassophobia.
All modern sharks are also sexually dimorphic. Females are generally much larger than the males, and the males have a pair of penis-like extensions to their pelvic fins called claspers. I, of course, made sure to include these details on a couple of my Pterosaur rhino.
I honestly didn't notice that.
Wow.
Tylosaurus!
The third and final animal featured in the film is the Mosasaur Tylosaurus. Mosasaurs, like pterosaurs, were also not dinosaurs. They're not even closely related to dinosaurs. Mosasaurs are actually related to modern-day monitor lizards and snakes.
Yep, they're basically giant sea lizards.
These were oceanic predators that became incredibly successful during the later half of the Cretaceous. Tylosaurus here being one of the largest of the group, easily rivaling the size of Tyrannosaurus.
Oh, they're about the same size, look.
Oh, wow.
Big boy.
Big boy.
Now, I'm only 25
he's only 3 years older than I am.
I don't remember anyone else really knowing what a mosasaur was, which seems to have massively changed in the past 10 or 15 years. Mosasaurs and Spinosaurs.
Man, I wish he did a short film about Spinosaurs.
I think I've seen rise the most in mainstream popularity in my lifetime. But I feel mosasaurs are often misrepresented in mainstream media as simple crocodiles with flippers, which isn't really correct. I tried to make my take on the species look as accurate as I possibly could. My design is streamlined, looking a whole lot more like a monitor lizard over an alligator, with the anatomically correct big tail fluke, the iconic second row of teeth in the upper jaw, and it even has a forked tongue, a feature that is shared by all of its modern-day relatives.
Wow.
Like a snake or a lizard.
Yeah. It's got like a leopard
The color
pattern.
scheme for this species was inspired by a mix of an orca and a lace monitor, which I
Orcas
feel
and monitor lizards.
might be every single paleo artist's go-to while reconstructing this animal, but I really like the simplicity of the final result. I can't really imagine this animal looking any other way than this.
Oh, that stomping though. That bite. I've heard that sound before.
Oh, we're back on.
Sea and Sky ended up being a lot more work than I expected. The finished film is only 3 or 4 minutes long, but it was originally conceived as an even shorter 2-minute film.
2 minutes?
It was conceived as an easy, simple, complementary piece to the Dinosauria series that I could bang out relatively quickly. The original 2-minute cut of this film was finished, and it was finished months ago. It was literally exactly the same film as the final cut, but with half of the shots missing. And it was really, really bad. It was too fast-paced, it was uninteresting, and it was rushed, full of animation errors, cut corners, and scientific inaccuracies. I ended up extending and tweaking that film seemingly endlessly into the product it finally became, wasting a lot of time doing so. Well, for example, in the original 2-minute cut of this film, the Cretoxyrhino were only supposed to be seen from a distance. So the model I made was very low detail and crudely animated. However, as I extended the film, I needed
it looks like a lemon shark or something.
So I had to go back and create a higher detail, better animated Cretoxyrhino. However, as I continued to extend the film, I also ended up needing a shot of the shark baring its teeth. Neither of my Cretoxyrhino had functioning mouths, so I had to create a third shark with a 3D model, textured and animated mouth. I made 3 Cretoxyrhino rigs for this film for 3 separate purposes, when all I really needed to create was the last one, which can do
That's gotta be a lot of wasted
effort.
effort.
This is a perfect example of the constant retreading and time wasting that kept happening because of my early mistakes, and is also why Cretoxyrhino doesn't have a sketchbook page.
I said, whoa.
That all being said though, I surprisingly quite like the final film. I think I love it. It was incredibly tedious and boring to make, but it somehow grew on me and has become my second favourite of the series just after our Frozen Past. To me, Sea and Sky is the most realistic feeling film of the Dinosauria series, and that was the intention. I set out to create a film that felt real, and portrayed Pterosaurs as confident and inspirational, at the same time challenging myself technically by setting a film in and around the sea. I feel the film succeeds in doing all of that. Besides my tippy-toe Pterosaurs, this is exactly the film I wanted to make. It just took me
I don't really notice it though, like with all the rocks.
But it looks good.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, the final film in this series isn't as much trouble, but I mean, part of me doubts that because at the moment the finale is shaping up to be the longest and most ambitious film of the whole series.
Triceratops, Struthiomimus, and
there he is, the T-Rex.
I heard it was actually a she.
Oh, is it a she? Oh, wow.
I think this T-Rex might be female.
If you want to support me or support this Dinosauria series, or read through the sketchbook I've been showing off in this video, you can. High-resolution photographs of the entire Dinosauria sketchbook so far are up on my Patreon page right now. You can also gain access to each of my animated short films 2 weeks before they're released here on YouTube.
Now what's he gonna do for the B-roll?
So much for watching. But it is the end of the video, and that means
I'd be in the Patreon list like last time.
Outro B-roll.
So are you in the Patreon?
Today, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing.
I'm one of them.
I'll be taking this Pteranodon model right here, and we're going to walk down to the coast, where he rightfully belongs.
Oh, he's going to the coast.
Where he rightfully belongs.
There he is, on the coast.
He's home.
Special thanks to all my top Patreon supporters on screen right now. Hopefully scrolling over some footage of a happy Pteranodon in his natural habitat. This Dinosauria series would not be possible without these guys, so again, thank you very, very much.
Oh, there's you. I see you. I see your name. Look, there you are. Wow.
Oh. My
Wow.
Oh, and now the ad pops up.
Oh, now the ad pops up.
Now the ad.
I get 3 ads.
You got all the freaking ads, and I can
ads.
just sit here with little pop-ups that don't interrupt me until.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so unfair.
Oh my
But
God.
there you go, the making of Sea and Sky, and we only have one more Dinosauria short film to go.
That's crazy.
And it's according to David James Armsby, it's the longest one. So quite looking forward to that one.
Ooh.
How much you're willing to bet, like how long it's going to be? I'm saying between 8 to 9 minutes at least.
Yeah, I would say 8 to 9. Yeah, maybe
like
10.
Comparable to Battle at Big Rock.
Yeah.
Like from Jurassic World.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I could see it being.
I think we might be looking at something like that. So after seeing the making of, what do we think?
I liked it. I really liked it. It was. I like that we got a little bit more information on the whole series, and like kind of behind the scenes
in general.
Yeah. I love watching behind the scenes kind of stuff and seeing like this is what they had, all the things that they had to do, and like the inner workings of it. I always loved those when I was a kid, and even nowadays.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on it? Did you enjoy it?
Well, I said this before. I'm gonna say it again. I'm also a sucker for behind the scenes things. Like I have like a Godzilla vs. Kong on Blu-ray, and I will just watch the Blu-ray exclusively just for the behind the scenes clips that they have. I'm nuts for him. So seeing a YouTuber who actually makes like behind the scenes videos for his animations is a treat, because in the norm, YouTubers, even if they do short films, don't really do like a behind the scenes sort of deal.
Yeah.
So seeing this and seeing like how his mind ticks, because we don't see like him streaming his work. We don't see him actually working on the animation, but he tells us what's going on, like what his thought process is, what he liked, what he didn't like. He even critiques his own like stuff, like as if he's the actual viewer.
Yeah.
And that is something I can praise.
For sure. We don't see that enough of like, these are some things I would have changed, but didn't. Or they only show like the highlights of like, this is the best thing, and you only need to see like the perfectness of the video. It's like, no, here's what actually is happening behind the scenes. Messed up here and there, but that's okay.
I mean, in film, they're kind of obligated to say, this is the best we've ever seen, but this is a real human being, like just one guy doing this on his own, and he's just giving his honest thoughts. Like he Sometimes he thinks it's crap. Sometimes he thinks it's falls short. Mm-hmm. But he also knows that despite his shortcomings, they're still good.
Yeah. And I like that. They're all amazing. He's done a really good job with them.
Now, if only the audience for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom felt the same way about that.
Oh my god, yeah. A lot of people didn't like that one. I personally really liked it.
Yeah, me too.
That was probably like one of my favorite ones, but everybody was like, "This is garbage." And I'm like, I really liked it.
Do you guys remember Jurassic Park 3
yeah,
at all?
It's like they were like, you know what? It's an alternate universe. Jurassic Park 3 didn't exist. Like, I don't know. I liked Fallen Kingdom. Jurassic Park 3, it was cool we got to see a Spinosaurus, but like...
I got angry as a kid when I saw it kill the T-Rex.
Yeah.
I'm over that now, but as an adult, I'm beyond that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we're getting too far off track. I'm actually kind of sad that this next short film we're going to be getting is the last of the bunch.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of bittersweet because I think with this being the T-Rex short film, there's only one way this is going to end, with the extinction of the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a bittersweet thing to see.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm going to savor every second of it. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And I just hope the T-Rex doesn't get killed before, like, the asteroid or whatever. Like, by something stupid.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see another crippling T-Rex death.
Yeah, seen too many of them.
Yeah. Anyway, that's where we're going to wrap up the video. Jurassic Master, I stole your outro last time. I think you can steal mine.
All right. So how do you do your outro? I'm sorry. how do you do it? You just say...
I do it. I'm like, well, for me, I always go, that's where we're going to wrap it up. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe today, hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything new. Link to the Discord in the description down below. And until next time, this is Tyrannos Senpai, and I usually say like my co-host, like, on the side, if I have one, and then be like, signing off. Alrighty then, take care now, bye-bye then.
So, this is Jurassic Master, and I just forgot everything what you said. Like and subscribe to Tyrannos Senpai. He seems like a really cool dude. I'm the co-host, or you're the main... Man, I'm having like the biggest brain fart right now. I really just kind of
Okay, here's the easy part. Alrighty then. Take care now. Bye-bye then.
Alright, alrighty then. Take care now. Bye-bye.